Hey guys, welcome back to part 4 of the How to Handstand series. Today we will be going through how to balance in a handstand off the wall. I've tried a bunch of different progressions and I'm just going to give you the exercises that I found which helped me the most. And there are 4 exercises that I did to significantly improve my balance, which helped me to achieve a freestanding handstand. But first, let's quickly talk about the requirements, the things you need to have in place before training for the handstand. There's 2 basic requirements that you need that I think most people should have, and that is number 1, good wrist and shoulder flexibility and mobility. The reason why is because these 2 joints are the foundations for your handstand. They are holding up your entire body, so they need to be strong and capable enough to take some weight. So if you don't have strong wrists and shoulders, you should really be working on this first. And if you are working on that, I'll link my wrist and shoulder mobility videos to help you get started in the right direction. The second requirement you will need is sufficient strength in the muscles used in a handstand. This is because we have to be able to spend some time upside down without fatiguing so that we can focus on balancing and building that mind to muscle connection. I have a video on building strength for the handstand which I'll link down below if this is something you need help in. Anyways, let's get into learning how to balance off the wall. The first exercise you must include are chest to wall handstands. As simple and obvious as it looks, this is probably the one that helped me the most. It literally mimics the handstand position and allows you to focus on getting your form right. It shows you what areas you may be lacking in terms of strength or flexibility. We can get into the chest to wall handstand in 2 ways, by either jumping into it sideways, or we can start on the ground and walk up the wall backwards. We want to pick up focal point on the ground and stare at it somewhere in the middle between your palms. Then push out with your shoulders, engage the core and glutes, flex the quads and point the toes. If you have already tried this and you don't find it helps, then there's probably 2 reasons why it's not working for you. Firstly, you're not focusing. Focus on improving something about your handstand during your practice. Don't simply just do a chest to wall handstand mindlessly and expect to get results. Record yourself and see if your form is correct. Check you have a straight center of gravity line going from your palms to your shoulders to the pelvis, followed by the knees and then the ankles. Or try experimenting using your fingertips to push you back when you're falling forward. Experiment with using your palms if you're falling backwards, or you can also try bending your elbows to catch yourself again. Or maybe you focus on building up your endurance in your shoulders in the handstand position for as long as possible. The second reason is you simply just haven't done enough reps. You can't expect to just get it in one session. You need to develop the mind to muscle connection, which means doing it consistently week by week. A helpful strategy I use, which I give credit to Andrew Huberman for, is doing as many reps as possible, even if you are making errors. There was an interesting experiment he mentioned which basically said that the more errors you make when learning a skill, the better. Because it's telling your nervous system, or tells your brain that something needs to change, which opens up the possibility for plasticity. And then the one time you do get it right, the correct pattern is rewarded and consolidated due to an increase in dopamine, and you then gain further motivation and drive to keep going. The strategy is complemented well by getting quality sleep, so ensure that you get good sleep after your skill learning session. I only learned about these strategies about a year into training. After learning this, I noticed my progress started improving in terms of proprioception and balance. I wish I could have implemented this at the start. I'm sure if I did, I would have progressed much faster. But now you guys know, and you guys will be able to benefit from this. And just quickly, Huberman also mentioned that after your skill learning session, do nothing. Doing nothing for about 1 to 10 minutes, sitting there with your eyes closed, helps your brain to consolidate the skill learning. If you want to learn more info or want to check his video out, just search Andrew Huberman on how to learn skills faster on YouTube. Okay, the next exercise is Straddle Handstand. This is the first milestone skill I gained whilst training my handstand. It was one of the skills that helped develop my balance and control, enabling me to progress to more advanced handstand variations and improve my overall handstand proficiency. It's a nice one to start off with as a beginner, as it gives you a wider base of support, meaning more stability and making it easier to correct imbalances. We first want to start on the wall so we can get a better feel of the movement without the fear of falling. Start off by giving yourself about 2 hand lengths away from the wall, then jump up into our handstand, and once you're comfortable, spread your legs out to the side using the wall to support you. Get a good feel of the movement and then experiment in this position. Experiment by slowly pushing off the wall and trying to find the balance point. And then also experiment by getting a feel of what it's like to tilt your pelvis in and out and notice what happens. Try push your shoulders out, point your toes and flex your quads. If you notice that it hurts to spread your legs out, then you may have tight hips and you may need to work on your hip flexibility and mobility. One of the challenges I faced in the past was limited shoulder flexibility. So in this video you can see that I struggled to balance because my center of gravity was too far forward. This was due to my shoulders not being able to align properly with the rest of my body. You can also see that my wrists are past 90 degrees, which meant that I was putting a lot of stress on my wrists, and my wrists started hurting afterwards. The next exercise to improve your balance is the Scissor Handstand. This is really good for improving proprioception, or in other words, knowing where your limbs are when you're upside down. Start off on the wall about 2 hand lengths away, then jump up into your handstand with 1 leg back and 1 leg forward. Then with control, try bring your legs together. Pause, then switch legs to the other leg on the wall and the other one behind you. Do this as many times as you can. Then you can try do this without the pause in the middle and go back and forth. Once you're comfortable with this, try doing it without the wall. And then once you've mastered that, progress by increasing the distance away from the wall, meaning you have to extend your legs even further and then repeat the steps all over again. So you can see all we are doing is just taking small steps to increase the balance window and improve our awareness of where our legs are. We first start with the support of the wall and then transition off the wall. And this is really one of the best ways to help you gain balance. The last exercise I'll recommend is the handstand wall slide. Another great exercise to improve your balance and is also recommended by other handstand experts. This one is a challenge, but is really good for fixing your handstands when you are in that underbalanced position. It also helps you get into the handstand when you first kick up into it, because as you're in this underbalanced position, you can easily transition and correct this into your normal freestanding handstand. This exercise will also help you to advance into more advanced skills such as the press handstand and the handstand push-up. So how do we do this? We first start about 2 hand lengths away from the wall again. Our feet are together on the wall and we slowly slide down by bringing our shoulders forward, and then as our feet get lighter, lift it off the wall as you push back up and align yourself into a handstand. Now this can be quite a difficult one to learn when first starting off, so we need to break it down even further. The first step is to simply do wall slides. Slide up and down the wall, ensuring you have good form, keeping your core engaged and toes pointed so that you have a straight body at all times. Do not allow your body to arch downwards, as you won't be able to lift your feet off the wall. And do not allow yourself to pike forward, as this will cause a whip motion when you push off the wall. When I first did this exercise, I thought I was doing it correctly until I recorded myself and found that I was piking a lot, which caused me to then get that whip motion and make me fall out of the handstand. So definitely record yourself on this one and maintain good form throughout. The second step is to float off the wall. So when you move your shoulders forward and your feet feel light, slightly lift them off the wall, allowing yourself to float, and then maintain this position for as long as you can. Once you're comfortable with this, the third step is to do the repetition, but then come back to the wall straight away. This will help you build better awareness and a better feel for what the movement feels like. Then the last step is just to do it like normal. Alright guys, that is it for this session. Just to summarize, a few key points of the really helpful tips to help you learn the skill faster are: firstly, ask yourself, what am I going to focus on? And then focus on that for the session. Secondly, safely perform as many repetitions as possible in the handstand session, ensuring you allow yourself to rest between sets. Thirdly, get quality sleep. This is a well-known strategy to improve any skill, not just in handstands. Okay guys, I hope you learned something. If you found this video helpful or have any questions, comment below and like the video to help support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want, feel free to join my Discord server, which I launched recently. It is a calisthenics community where you can share your experience, hang out, ask questions, and stay up to date with any of the new stuff I'm launching. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next and final episode of the How to Handstand series. Peace.